welcome back to another episode of the John, your daily sports dump, where we plunge in the sports world. We are a sports pipeline for breaking news, game recaps, and the hottest takes in the sports industry. So I take care of business, let us flush out the details, and fill you in on what's happening. So take a seat, get comfortable, and make sure you have plenty of TP. It's time to explode the commode. I'm your host, John, and today we'll be giving you some MLB Trade Deadline talks. Some guys that I think are destined to be traded, some teams that I think need to make win-now moves to kind of build on their already hot start to the second half of the season. But I want to focus on some pitchers that I think are going to go. We've heard Sandy Alcántara has been in trade talks since I feel like he was a Cy Young. He's always been connected to trade talks, trade rumors, but I think this is the year, especially everyone needs pitching. Everybody needs pitching. I think the Cubs would be a great fit for Sandy Alcántara. They really kind of need another pitcher, a true ace. I think Shota Imanaga is a great pitcher. I think he's a great number two. I don't think he's a number one in this league, and that's just my view. Is I don't see him as an ace. I see him as a great number two and a 1B sort of option. I don't see him as an ace that I think Alcántara is and can be, especially when he goes to a new team that doesn't have this Marlins team that is sort of sad and depressing. I mean, and also Alcántara, yeah, he hasn't been in the playoffs a lot, but his playoff ERA is a 1.29 ERA. He was only in the playoffs in 2022, so I get what you say, that's not a lot, but still, he's shown that he can play in October and play in late in the season when the Cubs need them. I think the Cubs, if you don't trade for him, you could also trade for these next two guys. Their bullpen has been really great, so that's why I'm not really saying the Cubs. But Seth Lugo, especially with the Royals were supposed to be, I think, one of the better teams in baseball and in the American League. You have a young, rising superstar in Bobby Witt Jr., and then you have Jack Caglione, who was supposed to be amazing. You have Vinny Pasquantino, who's supposed to be great. You had a great pitching staff with Seth Lugo, with all of these guys, and this team that was, you didn't really have a star next to Bobby Witt. Not how a lot of these teams have multiple sort of stars, multiple sort of great guys, key contributors on their team. The Royals were kind of different. It was Bobby Witt and then contributors, and this year it's just been all downhill. They're competing. It's the AL Central, so they're always going to be competing, but you could sell, especially Lugo, who's a little bit on the older side. You could get a younger MLB-ready guy. I think it's a great move for the Royals to do because you can get somebody who has been pitching really well, has a 2.38 ERA, but you can also kind of get better and get younger because Lugo's not getting any older. Your team is a relatively younger team, so if you can get a younger guy that's more MLB ready, see how it goes with him, I think that's another great move for the Royals. I think you kind of admit defeat in this season, realize if we make the playoffs, we're probably going to be in the division a wild card and not do much. Now this one, I would be shocked if it happens, just because I don't think the Diamondbacks would do. I don't think the Diamondbacks would do this. I don't think the Diamondbacks would trade Zach Gallen, but I think if you're looking to trade anyone on that team, it has to be Zach Gallen. They've been linked to trading Naylor, I feel like, this whole season, and I feel like Gallen's gonna be linked to the trades as well. He is having a really rough year this year, but you've seen the ace stuff that he has and that he can bring to a team. He can be an ace of a playoff team, of a World Series team, just this World Series team a few years ago. But I don't see the Diamondbacks doing that. I think this one was one of my more. I would be shocked if this person gets traded, because I think Zach Gallen is one of the best pitchers in baseball when he's on. But when he's not, and he hasn't been on at all this year, I think it's a completely different game for the Diamondbacks, because now you're kind of battling, do you keep Naylor, do you trade Naylor, do you keep Gallen, do you keep Brandon Pfaadt, do you keep all of these guys in your team that were big key contributors when you made this World Series run, or do you trade them? And then my last pitcher that I want to focus on is David Bednar. He had a little bit of a rough start, but he's starting to catch up now. 2.17 ERA, 11.2 K per nine. This guy strikes people out and does it efficiently and does it great. A lot of people are probably going to say, why are you not saying Paul Skeens? The Pirates are not going to trade Paul Skeens. Those rumors are false. Not only have they been proven false, but also if you actually believe them, there is something wrong with you. I don't know how you can believe that a team would trade a dude who they drafted with the first pick 2 years ago, who is now the best pitcher, probably the second best pitcher in baseball. I don't see how you can understand and think that they would do that. It makes no sense for the Pirates, who is a young team, young, exciting team, to trade their most young and exciting player, pitcher, best player, arguably in the league. But, guys, usually by now, more than half of the league is kind of out of it. Not in the playoff run, not really in any sort of game. There's usually a good kind of divide with elite teams and playoff teams and just teams like my team, the White Sox. We are one of the teams that are not good. But as of today, guys, 22 teams are within 5.5 games for a playoff spot, which means nearly the entire league is pretending they're contenders. And the trade market is loaded. And I have some teams that I think need to make moves, especially I think these are sort of the upper echelon of teams that you are going to make the playoffs, but you need to make a push for the World Series. And I think first team we have to talk about, you're talking about World Series, it has to be the Yankees. You got to get more pitching. They're depleted right now. Garrett Cole being hurt is not good. You need pitching depth. Everyone needs pitching depth. But I think the Yankees really need it. I think they need pitching depth, and I think you trade Spencer Jones if you think that you can get something for him. The guy's raking in AAA. He's ready for the MLB. He's hitting 400 in the MLB in the AAA. You guys need to call him up or trade him. Or trade one of your outfielders for pitching. Trade one of your outfielders for Seth Lugo, for a guy that you can get pitching. So you call up Spencer Jones. Brian Cashman's this is a very important trade deadline for him. The Phillies, you got to get an outfield bat. I'm looking at Brandon Marsh. He has not been great. You have Castellanos, who's good. You know he's going to give you a bat. But Brandon Marsh is a great defender. And he's not a great hitter. I think you also got to look at a bullpen arm if you're the Phillies. I think the Phillies, Jordan Romano has been very disappointing this year. He was not what I thought he was going to be. I think he was going to have a bounce-back year. He has not been that great this year. So I think the Phillies need to look at another bullpen. Their pitching staff is one of the best in baseball. Zach Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, Christopher Sanchez, 3 guys who I think could go top 5 in the Cy Young. I think that's how great they have. And then you have Matt Strahm in the end of the bullpen, who's good. But you need more reliable arms. Jose Alvarado's another guy. He's okay, but you need someone else. And I think you could also call up the Pirates, look for Bednar, try and get another guy in the pen that really helps you. And this one might come to a shock for you guys, but I think the Giants need to start buying. And I think they need pitching. You have Devers, who has been disappointing, but he'll start to get the swing of things. Just had a 2-home-run game today, so he's starting to get back in the swing of things. But if I'm the Giants, I'm looking for more pitching. Verlander has not been great. Robbie Ray has been good. Logan Webb has been good. I think you need one more good pitcher. You have Adames. You have Matt Chapman. You have Rafi Devers. Or an outfielder. Heliot Ramos in the outfield is atrocious. If you guys care, search up Heliot Ramos defensive highlights this year. There's not many. He doesn't know how to catch a fly ball or read. So I think you trade for another corner outfielder to get Heliot Ramos out of there because he's been awful this year. So I think the Giants need pitching, and you get an outfielder. I think they're right back in contention for this NL West. It's one of the most competitive divisions in baseball, minus the Rockies. But the Rockies are like the Sox. They don't really count. They're not a real team. And then finally, this one might shock you guys, but I think Detroit, I think you need to – you hit 50 wins first. You didn't hit 60. Obviously, the Brewers did. But you're one of the best teams in baseball. I think you take this time and you go make a big win-now move. I think you trade for Eugenio Suarez. I think you trade whatever you need to get a Eugenio Suarez on this team because of how elite he's been this year. He's been a legit NL MVP candidate. I think that's how great he is in the power department, and that's all you need. I think the Tigers need a DH, and that's what you get with Eugenio Suarez. They have a great lineup, and I think if you add in Eugenio Suarez in this, I think they are going to be a full-on World Series contender. I think they are a high playoff contender, borderline World Series. I think they trade for Eugenio Suarez at the deadline. They become a World Series contender. But guys, that's all I have for today's episode of the John, your daily sports dump, where we talked about the MLB trade deadline and some trades I think and players I think need to be traded. Join me next time on the John, your daily sports dump, where we'll take a dookie with a side of sports analysis. Until then, keep your game face on and stay regular. This is the John signing off.
Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about 35, 45 minutes. Somebody open the window.